Hi, welcome back to my channel, Open the Door. This is episode 161. Is FOMO keeping you from finding yourself? What if every time silence starts to heal you, you reach for noise? Another scroll, another invitation, another relationship, another need to stay connected so you don't feel left behind. What if the thing that's keeping you stuck isn't pain? What if it's distraction? We talk a lot about FOMO, the fear of missing out, like it's harmless. But spiritually and emotionally, it can go much deeper. Because FOMO can keep us disconnected from ourselves. Because healing often requires something uncomfortable. Stillness, boundaries, stepping away, missing things on purpose. And not everybody is ready for that. Here's the core message of today's episode. Sometimes we stay emotionally exhausted because we're terrified that if we stop participating in everything around us, we'll lose connection, we'll lose relevance, we'll lose validation, or lose our sense of belonging. But healing asks us a different question. What are you afraid will happen if you slow down long enough to hear yourself? FOMO keeps many people overcommitted, emotionally distracted, chronically available, spiritually disconnected, and addicted to external stimulation. But when your nervous system never gets quiet, your soul can't speak clearly. Sometimes healing means saying no, logging off, missing the party, losing access to people who drain you, and letting the world move without your constant participation. That's not isolation, that's restoration. But FOMO keeps us attached to external validation. Sometimes we don't fear missing events, we fear becoming invisible. So we keep showing up everywhere except for ourselves. We seek likes, we seek attention, inclusion, and invitations, and constant contact with others. Because silence can feel unfamiliar after living for so long in a survival mode. But healing requires learning that your worth is not measured by who texts you, who chooses you, who notices your absence, or how involved you appear. Your value exists within, and you find it in the solitude, especially in the solitude. Healing often looks boring from the outside because real healing is not always dramatic or aesthetic. Sometimes it can look like these things: going to bed early, turning your phone off, sitting in nature, journaling instead of reacting, spending time alone, protecting your energy, and staying home instead of chasing distraction. As you know, the world glorifies constant motion, but healing often happens in the quiet moments when nobody applauds. For some people, FOMO is a trauma response. It's not based in shallow. It's rooted in deeper wounds, like fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, fear of exclusion, fear of not belonging, fear of being forgotten. So we overextend ourselves trying to maintain connection at all costs. But constantly abandoning yourself to avoid being abandoned by others creates exhaustion, resentment, and emotional confusion. Healing means learning this: you do not have to earn belonging by betraying your own self and your own needs. Sometimes missing out ends up being the breakthrough. There are seasons where stepping back can become sacred. It's when you stop chasing every conversation, when you stop needing access to every room, when you stop trying to keep up with people who are disconnected from themselves. And suddenly your nervous system softens and your clarity returns. Your intuition gets louder and your peace becomes more important than participation. You realize Not every door needs to be entered, and not every invitation deserves your energy. So here's some prompts for you to consider, or to write in your journal if you're somebody who keeps a journal. The first question is, what am I afraid I'll lose if I slow down? The second question, am I constantly distracting myself from my own emotions? Do I confuse being busy with being fulfilled? Where am I abandoning my healing to stay connected? And the last question to consider is, what would happen if I stopped trying to keep up with everyone else's timeline? Here's my closing message. Maybe healing isn't about doing more. Maybe it's about finally giving yourself permission to miss out, to miss the chaos, to miss the noise, to miss the performance, to miss the pressure to constantly prove your relevance. Because the truth is this: you cannot hear your inner voice clearly while drowning in everyone else's expectations. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is, I'm no longer afraid to miss what cost me my peace. And maybe that's not missing out at all. Maybe that's crossing the threshold back to yourself. It's our episode for today. I encourage you to strongly consider today's episode. Maybe FOMO isn't all it's cracked up to be. I hope you've been doing well, taking good care of yourself. Hey, thanks for popping in and sticking with me today. Please give me a like, a comment, a share, a subscribe, anything to let me know that you're out there. I appreciate you guys so much, and I'll see you again very soon. Be safe out there. I wish you peace, love, and light. And I'll see you again very soon. That's it for now. Bye.